EB-5 green card window is closing. Why September 30th is your final deadline. The H1B crackdown. New bills proposing a 3-year pause on visas. Why your social media post could land you in deportation queue. Microsoft success story. After 7 H1B rejections, a techie gets his green card. All of this and more in today's episode. Every single news source is in the description. Welcome to Desh Videsh Desk, home to what matters for NRIs. Going into the details. If you are among the rich Indians who is holding an Indian passport and dreaming of or currently living the American dream, the rules of the game have just changed. Many of you may know that there is a program called EB-5 green card visas, where wealthy investors invest in American economy and in return they get green cards for themselves and their families and kids who are under 21 years old. However, in the current administration, they are trying to close these programs or at least discourage people from certain countries from investing. This program is scheduled to end if no renewal happens in September 2027. However, there is a loophole that some people can take advantage of, which is being in the queue before September 30th, 2026. Meaning, if your EB-5 application is in process before September 30th, 2026, then you will be grandfathered into the whole process. Even if this program gets scrapped in 2027, you will still be eligible for green card through EB-5 program. Some of you may think, oh, they will never shut down this program. But they did. And when they did, almost for 9 months, all the investors and people who were waiting for their green cards did not know what to do until the government stepped in and renewed the program or gave them some alternatives. So don't take this lightly, at least in the current state of affairs we are in. Now for the tech workers, on April 22nd, 2026, Representative Eli Crane from Arizona introduced End H1B Visa Abuse Act of 2026. This is in front of US House of Representatives now. Although title is misleading, saying it will target H1B visas, inside the bill there are a lot of things that will impact every visa holder, especially Indians. This bill proposes to put a 3-year pause on all H1B applications, remove optional practical training OPT, which is what a lot of students rely on when they come to the US on F1 visas, student visas, and then look to get work on optional practical training. And it is also aiming to remove H4 dependency category. As you may know, if you come to US on H1B, your spouse, if they get the work authorization, they get H4 work authorization, which has no restriction on which employer or what kind of job they can do for the most part. This bill aims to remove that. Essentially, this bill wants to put a 3-year pause on H1B visas, cut down the visas from 65,000 to 25,000, make it mandatory that anyone who is applying for H1B, their salary is at least $200,000, remove any type of exemptions on the H1B for special categories, and there will not be any more cap exempt employers. Some employers have special authorization where their visa applications, H1B visa applications, do not count towards this 65,000 annual limit. Those cap exempt employers will no longer be in existence. You may already know the H1B new visa application is $100,000, right? They're also thinking to change this to a higher amount. As I mentioned, 200,000 minimum wage will be required in this bill if it gets passed into law. And the biggest of all, they are looking to remove lottery system and then they are going to prioritize based on salary offered. So for example, if your employer offered you 300,000 for a job because your talent is or your skill is important, you get priority to someone who is getting offered 200,000 irrespective of your qualification. And the lottery system is completely being eliminated if this bill passes into law. And there will not be any more concurrent, meaning one H1B visa holder cannot have more than one job. After COVID, we have seen a lot of H1B visa holders were doing 2, 3, 4 jobs, either under their own name or with their spouse as H4 EAD authorization. That is going to end under this bill. A lot of people come to the US on, let's say, visit visa or B1 visa. Once inside the US, let's say they have a child or they get some asylum applications going, and then they will change the status while they are in the US. They want to eliminate the option to adjust the status while you are inside the US. Any new visa or any new status updates, you have to do it outside the US. Perhaps this is the biggest of all the changes. which is currently you can go from F1 to H1B, H1B to L1 visa. So you can shift from one visa to the other based on your qualifications or the situation or the employer's needs. This bill proposes elimination of these requests, meaning you cannot be in the US and say, I want to move from F1 to H1. That won't be possible. Again, if this goes into law, a lot of the H1B employees are working for government contracts, meaning they may be working for federal, state, local government projects. This bill proposes to eliminate that, meaning only American citizens and green card holders can work on any government related projects. As you can see, this bill tries to cover a lot of ground and it directly impacts every single immigrant, more so for Indian immigrants than others. Keep an eye on this bill. If it gets into law, there may be a lot of changes. Moving on to the next news, the land of the free is restricting freedom of speech. If you found yourself opining about what's happening in the world or about Israeli soldiers or Iran war, don't be surprised if those feed is checked at the immigration and you may be asked to go back, or if you were already in the country, your social media activity can be used against you. Let's say you were under the radar for all of these and you ended up getting in queue for the green card. Even the green card applications will be required to scour through your social media posts, and if there is anything controversial, your green card application can also be denied. This was reported in Guardian and New York Times. Both the articles will be in the description. If you are looking to move to the US, or if you're already here and you're thinking to apply for a green card or H1B renewal, whatever the case may be, make sure you read the articles and act accordingly. Moving on to the last piece of the news, let's make this positive. An Indian origin software engineer at Microsoft has gone viral after sharing how she finally secured a US green card following 7 consecutive rejections in H1B visa. If there is anything sensational in this news, that is the fact that she got rejected 7 times from 2019 to 2025. Beyond that, everything else is a media sensationalist news, because what happened after 7 times, she moved to Canada and then moved back to the US on L1 visa, which led to her green card application. This is not a route that everyone can take advantage of, because your employer has to be willing to work with you, or you take the risk of leaving the US, going into more managerial and supervisory roles and coming back to the US on senior management roles under L1 visa. That shortens your green card queue. Might be a little sensationalized, but this is definitely a good news and a way to remind people that there's always a way. When the time comes, you'll probably find the way. That's for the news today. Don't miss any updates related to everything that matters to NRIs, whether they are in US, UK, Dubai. Subscribe and be in the know.